What's going on YouTube? Justin Railfan here, and today we're going to be doing a special video where we're going to be restoring this old model, and yeah, let's get into it. So what I have in front of me today is an old HO scale Rivarossi Y6B. In particular, this one is kind of interesting. So this model does in fact run kind of poorly. As you can see, the whole front plow is detached. The LED does work though. The drawbar does not actually connect to the tender. I still would like to dust off this locomotive, including the tender. Other details on the tender include an older style coupler that I actually cannot use with my modern HO couplers. There is no LED on the back for the tender light. The ladder is kind of warped, and yeah. One other addition I would like to add to the doghouse is to paint the window seals red, just for a little different look, I suppose. There's not much work I can do to the cab, but I might consider painting the seals a certain color, or I might just leave it alone. And looking at the front plow section with the cylinders, this whole thing is basically detached, so I'm going to have to figure out how to assemble it back on. And then after that, I'm going to have to push the rods back into the cylinders. And then the cage overlooking the headlight and a few piping is actually warped, and it's kind of a miracle I was able to get it redone. One thing that I find very interesting about this model is that it's actually a Norfolk and Western locomotive, as you all know, the Y6B. However, the Pennsylvania Railroad only owns one Y6B, and I believe they called it the HH1. Yeah, so this locomotive is numbered for the Norfolk and Western, yet the tender is actually lettered for the Pennsylvania Railroad. So all in all, that's pretty much it for the locomotive so far. Not really a whole lot of differences in prototype between the Pennsy HH1 and the Norfolk and Western Y6B, apart from the headlight being suspended above the smoke box door, whereas with the Norfolk and Western one, the headlight is down in this plow section. And for anyone wondering, a Y6B is a 2882 locomotive. So with everything being said, let's go ahead and take this locomotive onto the workspace, and yeah, let's restore this thing. So here we are, many months later. I've definitely procrastinated way too much on this simple little project, and to be honest, there's still a ton of work on this model that I have completely given up on doing, that being the headlights, getting the main driving gear in for the first two sets of trucks, and I honestly have spent hours trying to get the rods back into the cylinders, and it just has not been working out. And so unfortunately I don't think I'll be able to get this model to run anytime soon, but I did manage to get it cosmetically restored. Such cosmetics include repainting the cab windows, the number plate on the smoke box door, and painting the doghouse windows. After painting, I was able to get the front pilot with the leading pipes to the cylinders put on, which definitely was a massive challenge. Like I said, the cage that goes over this whole thing was pretty much warped, and it still is, but it is definitely a lot better than it was before. Also managed to get those steps back on. But for both sets of the leading drivers, none of these rods will go into the lead cylinders, which is super unfortunate. I have spent hours trying to get them back in, and it's just not going to happen anytime soon. I did, however, manage to get the locomotive and tender completely dust-free, and I was able to redo the drawbar connection using a little bit of wire, so now it's actually connected instead of just being separate. So in terms of this model's future as a runner, It is very uncertain at this current time. I have this locomotive because it belongs to a friend who has moved, and he was given this model from a neighbor who has recently passed, and so I will pretty much just keep this locomotive in clean condition in honor of said neighbor. This is probably going to remain a shelf queen for a while, unless I decide to get back into HO scale and get the lead driving gear fixed, but till then, this model is pretty much cleaned and cosmetically restored, so it is a very nice model, being plastic, but looks pretty good. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'll be sure to get more content out in the future, and happy model railroading. Goodbye.